take a look at how to write ionic formulas in the basics. First, what I want you to think about is that we're talking about what atoms are going to do to maintain stability. And they do this sometimes by gaining or losing electrons. Remember, they want to have a full valence shell. So the only thing that I'm going to address in this first video is how to do elements that are in the S and the P block. Remember, the S block are these ones in the first two columns. And then the P block is over on the right side of the periodic table, and those are those 8. Now, helium only has 2 electrons, but it's over there because it's full valent, has a full valence shell. Remember, charges that we form by looking at these elements in the S and the P block, and we can find that they're the same in each family. So, and the reason they do this is because they're going to complete a valence shell. Okay, everything in the first column has 1 valence electron, so it's +1. Everything in the second column is +2, and the third column +3. -3 for nitrogen, -2 for the oxygen family, -1 for the fluorine family. And then the ones in the final column don't have a charge because they have a full shell. So here's what we do when we write formulas. And if you follow this step-by-step procedure, it will work pretty well. The first thing you want to do is to write the symbols for the ions. You want to be sure you put the charges. You're going to write the cation first, followed by the anion. After you do this, you're going to ask, do my charges balance? A compound that is ionic will have no net charge. Okay, if yes, it does equal to 0 and the charge is balanced, then I just write the formula without any additional subscripts and I remove those charges of the ions. If the charges do not add to 0 and they don't balance itself out, then I need to balance those charges using subscripts. I'm going to do this most easily by crisscrossing. That's swapping and dropping the superscripts to make them subscripts, but removing the 1 and any negatives. So you try writing the formula for calcium nitride. Okay, first the symbol for the calcium ion is Ca. That's the calcium element. Nitrogen's N. I can look on the periodic table. Calcium's charge is +2. Nitride, the single element, is -3. And you can get this also from the periodic table. They do not add to 0. They're not balanced. So I'm going to need to balance the charges. So I'm going to need 3 calciums and 2 nitrogens. So when I write my formula, I simply write the symbol for calcium, Ca. I'm going to need the subscript 3 because that will give me a total of +6 positive charges with 3 2+ calciums. Next, I'll write the symbol for nitrogen, N. And since each one has a -3 charge, I need 2 of those to balance the charge. So you can see where I've swapped and dropped. I don't have any negatives. Now I want you to try a formula for sodium sulfide. Pause the video and then come back and see the way you do it. I've got the charges for each. They do not balance, so I swap and drop, giving me the formula Na2S. Remember, for elements, the name of the cation is the positive, is simply the name of that element. If you have it by itself, you'll write the name of the element and the word ion. The name of the anion is the element's name stem, followed by the ending IDE. Then you would write the word ion. I hope that's helpful.